The battlefield was a storm of smoke, fire, and chaos, each explosion sending vibrations through the dirt and shrapnel whistling past the ears of everyone on the front line. Soldiers shouted, weapons cracked, and the air was thick with the metallic tang of gunfire. Yet amidst the turmoil, she moved with a silence so profound it almost felt unnatural. Every observer assumed she was panicking, collapsing under the weight of the chaos, yet her body betrayed nothing of fear. One hand pressed lightly to her side, the other instinctively balancing her weapon, eyes scanning the smoke-choked horizon with a calm precision that contrasted sharply with the frenzy around her. The SEAL medic, racing toward her through the debris-strewn battlefield, expected a wounded recruit on the verge of collapse, but what he discovered stopped him cold. She wasn't panicking. She was calculating, surviving, and holding the line not for recognition, but for something far deeper. Her stillness, once mistaken for fear, became a beacon of focus in a world gone mad, a quiet testament to training, instinct, and sheer willpower. Every second she remained composed defied expectation, making the chaos itself pause as if acknowledging her presence. In those early moments, her story was a mystery to everyone around her. Whispers ran through the ranks. She's done for. How is she even standing? And yet she remained unshakable, her breath steady, her gaze unwavering. The SEAL medic, seasoned by countless operations, approached cautiously, expecting to administer triage and witness the obvious signs of panic, but nothing in his experience had prepared him for this. Instead of fear, he saw control. Instead of desperation, he saw calculation. Her injuries, though visible, seemed secondary to the larger picture, the unspoken battle she was waging inside herself, measuring risks, anticipating threats, and surviving with a quiet mastery that few could comprehend. The tension in the air was palpable as he knelt to assess her, the battlefield noises fading into a background hum as his focus zeroed in on the subtle cues of her condition. Even the most hardened veterans around them couldn't tear their eyes away, sensing that this moment was extraordinary, a silent revelation of courage, discipline, and experience that went far beyond what anyone had expected. In that suspended moment, before a single word was spoken, it became clear that she had already won the first battle, commanding respect without a sound, proving that true strength often speaks in whispers rather than shouts. The moment she hit the ground, the world seemed to tilt. Smoke curled in thick spirals around crumbling buildings, the sharp crack of gunfire slicing through the haze, and the distant roar of explosions sent vibrations across the earth. Soldiers scrambled, voices shouting orders over the chaos, yet she moved differently. There was no flail, no panic, no hesitation. Her steps were measured, precise, like a predator navigating its territory. One hand pressed against her side where a wound throbbed, the other balancing her rifle, eyes scanning every corner with a predator's attention to detail. The chaos seemed to bend around her calm, the smoke parting like water before her focus. The SEAL medic sprinted through the battlefield, adrenaline pumping, expecting to find a recruit bleeding and panicked, screaming for help. But when he reached her, everything he expected vanished. She didn't cry out. She didn't flinch. Her breathing was even, steady, controlled. Her eyes locked on a point beyond the smoke, tracking enemy movements and her team's positions as though orchestrating an invisible symphony of survival. He knelt beside her cautiously, noting the blood on her uniform, but also the absence of fear. The soldiers around them whispered, some in awe, some in disbelief, as he began his quick assessment. She winced slightly but remained upright, her body a perfect balance of endurance and pain management. It was a display of control few had witnessed and fewer still could emulate. Every pulse of her heart, every subtle movement was deliberate. She spoke nothing, yet communicated volumes. One nod, one shift in posture, directed teammates through fire and debris without a word. The SEAL medic's trained eyes caught the faintest cues, how she shifted weight to minimize pain, how she scanned the horizon to preempt threats, how she subtly signaled injured soldiers to follow her lead. This wasn't a rookie surviving by luck. This was someone seasoned, tested in ways the others couldn't imagine. And despite the wound, despite the chaos, despite the imminent danger surrounding them, she remained the calm eye in a storm of panic. Her quiet confidence rippled outward. The medic checked her vitals, and even as he noted the severity of the injury, He recognized something unusual. She wasn't focused on herself. She was focused on the mission, on protecting the lives of those around her. Pain was acknowledged but not prioritized. Survival was holistic, encompassing both body and mind. Her silence became strategy, her composure a weapon. Those watching understood instinctively that this was not a moment of desperation, it was a lesson in resilience. As the smoke cleared slightly, she began scanning the field with meticulous precision. Every movement of her squadmates, every flicker in the shadows, every flutter of debris carried meaning. Her injured arm throbbed with each movement, but her expression betrayed nothing. The SEAL medic moved carefully alongside her, quietly noting the subtle signs of internal calculation, how she rotated her torso to minimize pressure on the wound, how she adjusted her breathing to regulate heart rate under extreme stress. Even in chaos, she created order around herself. The team's initial panic had transformed into reliance. Soldiers unconsciously mirrored her, mimicking her calm, precise movements. She was a silent conductor of a battlefield orchestra, each hand signal and subtle posture guiding action. The SEAL medic, experienced in triage and battlefield recovery, realized she was reading danger before it existed. Bullets zipped through the air, ricocheting off metal and concrete. Yet she moved with a fluidity that kept her teammates safe. It was as if the world slowed for her perception, each decision weighted with uncanny accuracy. Her past experience became evident in the minutiae. A collapsing wall, a flicker of an enemy's movement, the direction of smoke all registered instantly. She subtly signaled two soldiers to provide cover, redirecting their fire without speaking. Her injury, though severe, never compromised strategy. She absorbed pain and transformed it into clarity. The medic, kneeling nearby, marveled silently at her resilience. Every second she remained quiet, every measured step, was a testament to rigorous training and raw instinct. She assessed threats with precision only a few could master. Her eyes constantly scanned the periphery while her mind calculated trajectories, escape routes, and tactical advantages. When an enemy sniper appeared on a distant rooftop, she reacted with swift efficiency, providing cover fire while directing wounded soldiers to safer positions. The SEAL medic noted the way she anticipated danger, a subtle preemptive movement that minimized exposure for everyone around her. It was silent, almost imperceptible, but the difference between survival and disaster. Even her injury didn't slow her focus. She moved as if pain was secondary, a background hum that sharpened her awareness. Every groan of the battlefield, every whimper of wounded soldiers, every metallic echo became data she processed instinctively. She wasn't just surviving. She was commanding the field without commands, a ghostly figure turning chaos into order with calm, unwavering precision. Her attention soon turned toward a collapsed building. Dust and debris littered the area, and a faint cry pierced the din of gunfire and explosions. She signaled the SEAL medic to follow, not needing words. His instincts told him it was a trap, yet he trusted her. She had already demonstrated an understanding of danger that defied logic. As they approached, she knelt, listening, her hand brushing lightly over the rubble. Every vibration, every creak, every subtle shift was absorbed into her awareness. "Stay back," she whispered, voice calm and measured. It wasn't fear or panic. It was control. The medic, accustomed to urgency, recognized the precision in her tone. She wasn't hesitant, she was calculating. Her injured body bent carefully, minimizing pressure on her wound as she probed the rubble. A faint pulse, barely perceptible, throbbed beneath the debris. Her eyes narrowed, reading micro-movements, detecting life through subtle shifts in dust and debris. It was as though her body and mind had become instruments, translating danger into data. She directed the team silently. One soldier lifted a beam, another cleared rubble in precise increments. She signaled with subtle gestures and eye contact, orchestrating extraction without speaking above a whisper. The medic realized her injury did not hinder her leadership, it enhanced it. Every motion was calculated to protect the life trapped below while keeping the rescuers safe. She was a conduit between chaos and order, pain and performance, fear and control. Her past, though unspoken, was evident in every action. Years of battlefield experience, combined with an instinct honed in survival scenarios, made her movements deliberate and effective. Every beat of her heart, every throb of pain in her side sharpened her awareness rather than dulling it. When a second pulse was detected, a weaker, more erratic signal, her focus doubled. She adjusted her strategy instantly, reassigning roles and managing risk with the precision of a seasoned tactician. No words, just motion, calm, and command. The SEAL medic observed, almost speechless. He had seen extraordinary soldiers before, but never one whose presence could bend the rhythm of chaos so completely. Injured, yet impervious to panic, she was a living example of discipline and instinct combined. The trapped life depended on her calculated focus, and she did not falter. The team carefully shifted beams and stones under her guidance. Each movement had to be precise. A wrong move could collapse the fragile structure. The first survivor emerged, coughing and disoriented, yet unharmed thanks to her coordination. She kept herself braced against falling debris, ignoring the pain in her side, her focus absolute. The SEAL medic moved beside her, amazed at her endurance, her ability to process risk, and her leadership under extreme conditions. She counted heartbeats silently, gauging vitals of those trapped and those assisting in the rescue. Every whisper, every tremor, every vibration was data she absorbed and acted upon. When the second survivor was detected, weaker and more unstable, she recalculated the approach instantly. She directed a precise sequence of moves that allowed the team to extract the individual without triggering secondary collapses. Her injury remained secondary to the mission, her mind sharper than ever. Despite the danger, she remained calm. The explosions and gunfire around the perimeter were background noise to her focus. Every instruction she gave, every motion she executed, minimized risk and maximized efficiency. The SEAL medic could only follow, impressed at her mastery. Her ability to combine situational awareness, instinct, and precise movement had saved lives that day. She wasn't loud, she didn't boast, yet her presence reshaped the battlefield's rhythm. By the time the last survivor was free, the building was a hollowed-out shell of debris and dust. She guided her team away, still scanning for threats, still managing every small detail, and still ignoring her own pain. The SEAL medic finally spoke, breaking the silence. "I've never seen anything like that." She merely nodded, acknowledging the recognition without words. Her focus remained unwavering, proof that heroism can be quiet, precise, and extraordinary. As the smoke cleared and reinforcements arrived, the battlefield's chaos began to ebb. Soldiers and medics alike processed what they had just witnessed, unable to fully articulate it. She walked through the field, injury forgotten in the context of survival, directing final triage and assisting where needed. The SEAL medic finally checked her vitals properly, marveling at how she had endured. Whispers spread about the quiet soldier who had commanded the battlefield with a wounded body and a mind sharper than any weapon. Her actions saved multiple lives, yet she spoke nothing of herself, taking no credit. Her courage was silent but monumental, leaving an imprint on everyone who observed her that day. Even the most seasoned veterans understood that what they had witnessed was rare, the combination of pain, focus, and instinct, so perfectly aligned it seemed almost superhuman. As she finally allowed herself to rest, her team gathered around her, a mix of awe, respect, and gratitude in their eyes. The SEAL medic nodded, a quiet affirmation of her mastery. Her injury, though real, had not stopped her. Instead, it had honed her presence, magnifying the precision and leadership she carried within. She had turned chaos into order, saved lives without a word, and left an enduring legacy of quiet strength. Her story would be retold in whispers and lectures, a lesson in how focus, discipline, and courage unseen by the untrained eye can alter the course of survival. She was not loud, not flashy, not seeking recognition. She simply did what was necessary, demonstrating that true heroism often comes in silence, in precision, and in a mind trained to turn injury into power. The battlefield finally grew quiet, the smoke thinning and the echoes of gunfire fading into distant murmurs. Soldiers, medics, and reinforcements alike stood in awe, catching their breath and realizing the magnitude of what had just occurred. She walked through the aftermath with quiet determination, her uniform stained with dust and blood, her body aching but her mind sharper than ever. The SEAL medic followed closely, still stunned, finally acknowledging the incredible resilience he had witnessed. She didn't speak, didn't seek praise, didn't pause to celebrate. Every life saved, every precise movement, every decision made under excruciating pain was a testament to the training, instinct, and sheer will she carried. Around her, whispers spread stories of the quiet soldier who had turned chaos into order, who had commanded respect not through words or rank, but through action, discipline, and courage. Even the most battle-hardened veterans could only nod silently, understanding that what they had witnessed was nothing short of extraordinary. As the medics tended to the injured and the team regrouped, she finally allowed herself a single, deep breath. Pain remained, but it was secondary to survival, secondary to mission, secondary to the lives she had saved. The SEAL medic looked at her with quiet reverence, a silent acknowledgement that no words could capture her feat. She had endured, led, and triumphed, not through strength alone, not through weapons alone, but through the rarest combination of focus, courage, and precision. And as the sun dipped low over the battlefield, casting long shadows across the debris, one truth lingered with every observer. Heroism doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it moves quietly, deliberately, almost invisibly. Sometimes it walks through fire and blood, injured yet undeterred, shaping the course of events with a calm that leaves everyone else in awe. Today, she had shown that true bravery isn't about being loud, it's about being unwavering, steadfast and unbreakable, even when the world is falling apart around you.